All right, good morning, math first hour students. I'm gonna get you started for today. Go ahead and go to Schoology. Find Math 6, the one with the symbols on it. Looks like this. Week 1, you're going to Wednesday, April 8th. And then we're gonna get our work out of here. So you go to View Attachments, Co-Math 6. This is the document we're going to work on today. So you are going to put it into Notability. Now you can click out of Schoology and go to Notability, create new note, import, open. So this is where you're going to work on it, and then you are going to submit it back to Schoology when you're done. So today what we're looking at is the area of a regular figure. So we are going to take some notes about area, which is under geometry. We're going to figure out how to find the area of some different figures. In order to do this, we are using this formula sheet from the MCAs and focusing on these 3 areas. The first thing we are going to do is focus on the area of a rectangle. Each of these notes, you'll see that I kind of work through the first one with you, and then by the end you are going to be trying it on your own. There is nothing you need to turn in today. Today we are just taking notes on this topic. So some information that is missing. When we look at area, that is the base times the height. So anytime we look at area for a rectangle, it's going to be base times height. So in this shape, the base is 8 centimeters and the height is 3 centimeters. So in order to find the area, I'd say 8 times 3, and that gives me an answer of 24. And whenever we do area, we do centimeters squared, or whatever unit of measurement squared. What that means is that if we went back to the shape and we filled it with a bunch of little squares, this one is an 8 by 3. That means that inside of here, then, if we counted all these squares, there would be 24 of them. That's what that means. So now in the next one, I'm going to have you try these on your own. You're going to figure out, again, the base times the height. The base for this one goes here, and the height would go here. And again, then you figure out how many inches squared you would come up with. All right, that is for a rectangle. Next, when we look at a triangle, we're looking at, again, the base times the height, but a triangle is half of the base times the height. So we say it as 1/2 of the base times the height. There's 2 different formulas you might be familiar with. And we can say 1/2 times base times height, or we can say it as base times height, and this means divided by 2. This one right here is easier to put into a calculator, so it might be the one that you want to work with more often, and I prefer that one too. So the other thing we need to remember with triangles is that the height is the straight up and down. Okay, so think of when you go to the doctor's office and you stand straight up and down. You would not go to a doctor's office and stand diagonal like this. So this is not an example. This is not the height. The height is the straight up and down. Okay, so when we look at this first shape, again, we have our base, which is going to be this 5 inches. That's our base. And then when I look at my height for this shape, it is 4 inches. So base times height for this shape, 5 times 4 gives me 20. And then I'm going to take 20 and divide it. This is a division symbol as well. You may have also seen it before as, if I got rid of that, you could do it also as 20 over 2 or divided by 2. So 20 divided by 2 then would give me 10 inches squared. So again, here I'm going to have you try 2 of them on your own. But remember, we have the base times the height. And that's all going to be divided by 2. So once you figure out what 8 times 12 is, put that answer here. Divide it by 2 to get your final answer. All right, last but not least today is the trapezoid. One thing to know about the trapezoid is it's fairly similar to the other ones. We stick with H for height, B for base. The difference is that we have the different base sizes. So we have to be careful with that because here's a base. This is also a base. So because they're different lengths, we are going to add them together. And then we are going to still, similar to a triangle, divide in half. So again, another way to say that is added together. We're going to times by the height. Remember when these are squished together, there's an invisible little times symbol there. And then we are going to divide it by 2. Again, this is one I prefer. It's easier to put into the calculator. It's more difficult to put a half into the calculator. So when we do this formula, we have 1/2 of the bases added together times the height. So I always start with the bases and add them together. Here's my first base plus base 2. So when I add these two together, I get the number 24. 10 plus 14 is 24. Now I need to take those and multiply by the height. So again, there's my height of 4. And when I have 24 times 4, I get 96. Don't forget though that we still need to divide by 2. So we're going to divide by 2. If I have in my calculator 96, find my calculator quick. So I have 96 divided by 2. That gives me 48. So 96 divided by 2, my answer would be 48 inches. And again, we're looking at area, so we say squared. I'm going to help you a little bit more on this one because it is trickier of the 3. So again here, I have my base 1, which is 2, plus my base 2, which is 6. If I have 2 plus 6, I have 8. Next, I'm going to multiply by my height. My height for this is 5. So I'm going to take 8 times 5, and that gives me 40. And then I got to remember my last step is still to divide by 2. So 40 divided by 2. Again, use your calculator. 40 divided by 2 would give me 20. So I have 20 centimeters. Don't forget, centimeters squared is my answer. So go ahead, try the last one on your own today. And go ahead, go back, re-watch anything that you're wondering on, and reach out to me if you have questions or concerns, okay? This is going to be all new for us. We're going to learn together, and I will talk to you soon.